Hey everyone, this is Kim Delatorre. I'm going to be taking you through my Module 1, Part 1 theory. A little bit about my professional life. I am currently a 6th grade STEM teacher at East Middle School in Westminster. This is my 5th year teaching, although not all of it was at East. My undergrad was spent at Kutztown University studying 4th through 8th math and science. My personal life includes running, hiking, kayaking, just outdoorsy stuff, and traveling the world. I'm currently looking forward to my trip to Iceland in June. Some of my favorites are giraffes and anything Van Gogh related. And my favorites, of course, are my puppy Mocha Jr. and my sisters. So why am I interested in STEM? Well, I've always been a hands-on learner. I've always found student engagement and their interest in STEM to be very important. Since I'm a hands-on learner, I figured students are as well. I want to prepare my students for jobs that don't exist yet, as something that I was reading about, and just to show my students how connected the world really is through all 4 disciplinaries of science, technology, engineering, and math. As stated in the STEM Essentials book, this was found on page 4. The STEM education is an interdisciplinary approach to learning that removes the traditional barriers separating the 4 disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and integrates them into real-world, rigorous, and relevant learning experiences for students. So what I gathered from this is just how this STEM education is really just trying to integrate all the content areas. It's really trying to apply what they learn in 4 maybe separate classrooms and putting it all together so that they can understand how real experiences happen. So my operational definition of STEM would be just discovering new methods of integrating, could be 2 or more of the subjects, could be all 4 altogether. Being literate in all 4 areas. We saw in the Vasquez book on page 11 that STEM literacy grows through a person's lifetime as they add and improve their knowledge in the STEM fields. The tools that we need to better the world. By using STEM, we are improving the tools that we use for the world, the disciplines that are vital for a thriving economy and a safe, healthy society, as we saw in the STEM integration K-12 education. So I have definitely incorporated STEM in my classroom, having been teaching STEM for the past couple years, but a lot of it is going through the engineering design process. One lesson that I really enjoyed in the past was researching methods on how to filter water in a local creek behind the school so that they could see if the organisms in the ecosystem would have a clean environment. Students first brainstormed different ways to create the filter. They agreed upon an idea. Then they collected materials in the classroom and outside, measured out different substances, rocks, gravel, and everything that they needed for the filter. Then they went into creating and constructing their filter systems. As they tested it, they analyzed whether or not their system was successful, and finally discussed how they could improve their models to filter out larger quantities of water. So here's a couple pictures of the students collecting samples, and they did add some mud to it to make it a little murkier, and then filtering it, and along the way they did find some crayfish. So when I used figure 5.2 in the Vasquez book, they were definitely using all 4 disciplinaries in STEM in the science and asking questions. They were curious to find out how they could help the crayfish to have clean water. The engineering part where they developed the models, they brainstormed ideas of what the filter could look like before they created their models. In the technology piece, they were making decisions. They found a way that they could create technology to help their local creek. And then finally in the mathematics part, they had to make a sense of problems and persevere in solving them. So they realized that the water was not the cleanest, and pursued to find a solution for it. So why is STEM education important? I think Neil put it the best. If you are not a participant on the frontier, you will trail behind. and possibly get left behind entirely. I think the video really got to me as I was rewatching it, just because in some areas STEM is not integrated and it's not as important. So I think it's important to continue to push to have it in the classrooms. You also mentioned in education you should value science, technology, engineering, and math. If you do so, you get to innovate and invent new industries and new economies. Essentially, everyone has jobs tomorrow as they integrate themselves into STEM. So my goals for this course are to understand how to train my students to be scientifically and mathematically literate, gain new methods of integrating the four fields or the four disciplinaries, and prepare my students for the jobs that we have not been created yet in the 21st century. And here are the sources that I used throughout. Thank you.